This is called farming. You kids are gonna grow all kinds of plants. Vegetable plants, pizza plants. Okay, yes, I said pants. God damn it. Man, that's almost funnier than the quote. It said
okay.
pants, not plants. Damn it. Welcome to the
pants. I love me some
pizza
vegetable plants.
I love me some pizza plants.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Squadcast movie podcast episode number 27. I remembered this time.
Yeah, we're back.
And today we're doing two Dan recommendations. Hi, I'm Dan.
It's the Dan episode. That's Dan.
It's a Dan episode. You know, we did the Spy Kids movie off of Latrell's recommendation last week, and I was like, I haven't really just done an episode where I pick two movies in a while. So I decided to do something a little fun today, which I took two sci-fi movies. One is more on the family, fun, optimistic, futuristic side, and the other one is more of a dark thriller, dystopian vibe. And I wanted to do them together, kind of to show the two different sides of what like good sci-fi stories can be.
And that she did. I liked your picks this week. I'm excited to talk about both of them. I think it was a good kind of duality between the both movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a fun one.
I don't know. How should we? In my head, it made sense to go first with Wally, but we usually like to start with the sadder movie first, and then cheer ourselves up with the happier movie.
Yeah, I mean,
so. But although I would say Upgrade wasn't while it has obviously dark themes, it wasn't entirely fully. It was kind of pessimistic, I guess, but it wasn't like a horror, at least.
Yeah.
There's things about it that creep you out for sure.
True.
All right, we'll just start with Upgrade.
Okay.
Okay. I have no idea what year this came out.
Upgrade. I'm really looking at it right now.
Yeah. Oh, 2018.
2018, yeah.
So I found out about this movie because I was watching. I used to follow this YouTube channel that did compilations of gun deaths and knife deaths in movies. And that one fight early on where he basically splits a guy's face in half with a knife.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the clip. That was the clip I saw, and within that scene, you see a lot of how the little chip thing in his head works. It's telling him what to do. He lets it take control, and it just starts beating the shit out of the guy. So I saw that. I was like, whoa. And then I saw that gory ass death. I'm like, wait, this looks sick. It's futuristic and it's bloody violence. I had to check this out, and I saw it was on Netflix. So I was like, okay. And I just watched it.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that, and I was texting you yesterday about it, saying I had a lot to say about it. I reined myself in a little bit because I was a little bit more opinionated about it yesterday. Now, being someone who genuinely, really typically enjoys action, gore, sci-fi stuff. This movie rubbed me in so many wrong ways. I liked it.
Interesting, because I love the action.
But it had nothing to do with the action. Had 100% to do with the fact that I figured out exactly the plot of the movie in the first 10 minutes of the movie. This was one of the most, if not the most predictable, sci-fi action thriller, whatever you want to call it, I have ever watched in my life. You mean to tell me, first 10 minutes of the movie, we meet Gray and his wife Asha. Gray's like, oh, okay, we're obviously in the future where there's everything's super futuristic, but there things that were non-automatic cars are a relic. You know what I mean? But they're priceless pretty much. So Gray fixes a car for this guy. We meet the guy. Okay, he's living underground, so he's obviously super smart. He's playing with the cloud. He says, oh, this is my greatest invention. Asha looks at the invention and looks at him and says, oh my god, I know who you are. I work for your exact competitor. The minute that happened, I was like, okay, so he's going to kill her. And then Gray is like, oh, well, all I see with that technology is Tin Man on the unemployable. I was like, okay, cool. So he's going to kill her and then use him to test his product. And then exactly as it went, I was almost right. There is a little bit of a twist that I'm not going to get to yet. But from that moment on, I was like, okay, I know everything that's going to happen in this movie, and it was exactly that. So that was my only quarrel with it, is it was super predictable. But outside of that, I thought it was pretty dang good.
If I may point out one thing about your analysis there. Seems like you predicted two things correctly. The wife's death and the guy becoming a lab rat.
Well, well, okay, yes, I guess you're right. I did pick two of these crazy
I'm
things.
just saying.
And it was really, dude, it's just like, I don't know. It was, maybe it's because we watch a lot of movies and I've seen a lot of movies similar to this.
No,
it was just so obvious to me where she was like, oh my God, this is insane. And she was like, we're right behind you. And he's like, no, you're not. And then he's like, okay, I have to kill her because now she knows what I'm working on. And then Gray's just sitting there. Originally, he was just a dumb guy, but he's like, oh, well, this seems like the dumbest invention ever. And he's like, all right, well, fuck you. I'm going to show you why it's not. And that's exactly what happened.
Okay. So, well, yeah, I guess when it comes to the story, I didn't really have that problem. But if I were to, first of all, man, you just had that spiel. We never gave a synopsis. But yeah, basically what you described there is kind of the plot. I mean, the guy.
Apologies.
Yeah, but well, yeah. Anyway, you kind of get the point. But yeah, I mean, I like the way the story progressed. First of all, the pacing was really well done. I was in lockstep with it the whole time. I was immersed, I guess. I was following the journey of this character very well. And on top of that, I just so just to back it up a bit, the director of this movie is Lee Winnell, and he was a co-writer with James Wan when they made the first couple Saw movies, Conjuring, Insidious. So he has a horror background. And I think I think his debut was the third Insidious movie, which was just all right. But this was his original screenplay, and he decided to, obviously go with like the more sci-fi route. But I thought that the dark elements of this really worked really well with how this was doing. I guess in a way, watching it alongside WALL-E, it provided such a good contrast in that regard. Like a lot of times I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, this is obviously nothing like WALL-E, but it's still like sci-fi. It's still like futuristic and dystopian in a way, and it's just a completely different vibe, I also just really liked a lot of the ways in which the movie was directed. I thought they did a good job kind of showing this futuristic world. It looked they balanced it well with how it looked still kind of modern, but like it looked like it could have been like maybe 20, 30 years into the future.
Yeah, that's how.
Some of the things were dumb. Like some of the things were dumb. Like
then it was like
printing a pizza.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Like some of the stuff was dumb. And then what was the one point when he became a quadriplegic? He's like, "Can I get a protein shake?" And it was just like green juice. I was like, bro, I would be like,
I remember thinking that those arms were gonna come back in some way, and they didn't really.
They did absolutely. The only thing that they did for him was like be annoying for a couple scenes and like kind of make it comical.
Well, I did like the way it was kind of showing how he was not into this kind of shit, and then because he was a quadriplegic, he was forced into this kind of like having to rely on technology so much,
right?
And all the things and the future had a lot of good providing situations for that. I thought he did a mostly good job with like his movements, like trying to look like almost synthetic in a way. Although I don't know, I feel like watching it. Maybe I have to watch it again to see. I feel like it wasn't entirely consistent.
It definitely.
I feel like there had to be some parts in the middle where he was just walking normally.
There absolutely were. I watched this. Or you watched this? No, I watched this like 2 days ago. Or Yeah, like 2 days ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's literally there's moment like at the very beginning when he first gets Stim into him and he gets up out of the chair and like when he like lifts his
Yeah.
arms up to drop the fucking like the canes or whatever that he's using to help him walk, he looks like he's just
Yeah.
moving completely normal. And then we flash forward like what 30 minutes later and he gets to his house and he gets out of the chair and now he's like walking like he's made of wax or something. I was like, okay, this is like I get the premise, but brother, you got to do a little bit better.
I honestly wonder if it had a little bit to do with like editing, because the last time he goes downstairs into that guy's house at the end is I noticed it then. That's when I was thinking about it, because they show a clip of him walking up to the stairs and then walking down, and then he's walking mechanically then. I'm almost wondering if that was like I don't know if that was a shot from earlier, because there's the part where he's visiting him to talk about how he could track his movements and he knows that he's been fucking around and he's like pissed at him. That just cuts to him being there already. Like, it doesn't show him going there. I wonder if that was when that shot was originally for.
Yeah, it might be.
Because he's a good actor, man.
Yeah.
And he was doing a good job with those mechanical movements when he was doing it. So I'm wondering if it's not as much about the performance as it is about editor and I guess an unexperienced director.
Yeah, that could be the case. And yeah, I would agree. Like I don't want to blame the actor himself, because he did really really fucking good in this movie.
Yeah.
And like I think as a main, like the MC, like he did really well. I will say there were some moments that were just like a little goofy to me, but like that's just nitpicky stuff. But overall, like it was a really good movie. And also the idea of like of course we always play around with the idea of, okay, like it's a big corporation and they're like creating like the best technology. Like that's a pretty stereotypical trope, but like the fact that Aaron, like the main evil guy or whatever, was like in charge of Cobalt and in charge of the other like institution or whatever, and then he was just like this whole omnipotent thing, and then he created something that all of a sudden became sentient without him knowing, and those actually pulled the strings. Was a pretty cool concept. Like Stim was like a more badass Jarvis.
Yeah, sure. No, yeah, and I guess not every that isn't entirely original, but I did enjoy some of the fresh takes. There's a part about it that I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like it or don't like it. I'm kind of conflicted because, well, it goes without saying, there's a lot of like plot points that don't necessarily go fully explored, like the corporation thing, and the other thing is like, I don't know, the guys that have guns built into their arms and shit. I mean, like, how does that work?
It's only touched on for like 30 seconds.
I know, yeah, it's touched on as like a wounded.
Yeah, well, she's like, I work on on mechanics for veterans and stuff like that. But then all of a sudden, like they randomly just start coming out, and then. Dude, the one scene where he's walking in the hallway and he's loading bullets into his bicep, bro, I lost it. I was like, come on, man. Like, you gotta do
it did provide for that awesome scene, though. Obviously, they set that up so that guy could get his head blown off, but I fucking loved that kill.
Oh, yeah, when he grabbed his arm, he, like, snaps it back, points it at him, and just...
snaps it backwards into his face, and it...
No, dude,
I was like, oh, hell yeah.
The first fight when he's in the house, and Stim's like, he's like, Stim, help me. He's like, I need you to give me permission. And he's like, I give you permission. And he fucking, like, throat chops him.
Yeah,
and like the Undertaker. Dude, I lost my shit. That was badass. And he was like, Stim, he's got a knife. And Stim goes, we have a knife too.
Yeah, so do we.
Oh my god, dude.
I also really enjoyed the music. It had really good dark sci-fi vibes. Like, some of it like felt kind of old-fashioned in that sense, like almost like it was something from some kind of creepy sci-fi from like the 60s or 70s. And it like fit that tone, especially with how it ended. Okay, let's talk. We should talk about the ending.
Oh my god!
Hey, before we do, if anyone's listening and hasn't seen this, spoiler alert, big time. Please, if you haven't seen it, it's a good movie. Watch it and come back. It's great. All right, spoilers. Spoiler warning's done. So, obviously, the movie ends in a very fucked up way.
Yeah.
Where the guy's fighting with Stem basically on whether or not he's about to kill these two people, and you think for a second that he succeeded because he pulls it back and shoots himself, and you're like, okay, that's it. But all of a sudden, it just jumps back to him being in a hospital bed, and for a minute, you're like, "What the fuck?"
For a minute, I thought
there's
he
his
was
wife,
just, like, in a coma, and that was all a dream.
Right. That's what like they want you to think for a second, and then it jumps back to his eyes basically blacked out, and it's now Stem talking.
Dude.
And Stem's like, I just needed to break him, and I did. Now I'm in control.
Now I'm in control.
He shoots the cop and walks away.
That
and
shit
what
was
is
crazy.
What's really interesting about this ending for me, and I don't know, maybe there's maybe there's other movies and I just can't think of them off the top. I don't know. So it's not a happy ending, but for the main character, it kind of is.
Yeah,
like it's like a pseudo happy ending for him.
Like he thinks that he's just back with his wife, which is the whole reason he went AWOL in the first place. And then we don't know what Stem does afterwards. So like Stem could have technically like killed that guy and then just went on to like run a corporation. You know what I mean? We don't technically know that Stem just wanted to annihilate the humans, although that's probably what is like happening. But you know what I mean? So it's like it kind of works out, and like I don't know.
Well, it's not a good. I mean, it's bad. His body gets taken over by a by a cyborg machine, and God knows what its evil plans are. The movie just cuts it off there, and which I kind of love. It's like a mysterious ending. Like, what could possibly happen next? Now, there's a way you could think about that and start to judge it a little more harshly, because in a way, you could think, oh well, maybe he'll just, I don't know, as soon as he faces an army of cops or soldiers, just die. But or just, I don't know, maybe. But it was very smart, and it turned him basically into a superhuman. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the whole time
it'll be thinking ahead of people.
The whole time, like when he's getting used to Stim and stuff like that, like I was talking to one of my buddies about it after I watched it, and we were like, couldn't he have just technically have been like, Stim, repair everything back in my body back to normal functionality, right? And then the minute that happened, he could have just been like, Stim, turn off, and then he would have been straight.
Well, yes, he could have, but Stem was tricking him.
That is fair.
Stem was basically it was manipulating him into doing what it wanted. It was manipulating you too. I mean, you spent a good part of the movie, unless you just weren't fooled, thinking Stem's actually the good guy trying to help him.
Yeah, no, I definitely. That's why I stopped myself earlier when I was like, I'm not going to reveal the ending, because like the main parts that I predicted for the most part were correct, but I didn't fully see the twist of Stem being the one to like be like the mastermind of all of it. I had figured, the hit went out from Aaron, and like that's all the shit that like actually happened. But then all of a sudden, when Stem was like, "Yeah, nah, actually, it was me the whole time. Gotcha." I was like, "Oh shit, okay, that's a little bit different than what I expected."
Oh, also, before we move on to Wally, before we move on to our ratings, I just want to give a little shout out. I really love the last fight scene between him and the guy who kills his wife.
Oh yeah, Fisk.
Like, it was really well choreographed. Yeah, Fisk. Yeah, you're right. It was really well choreographed. It did one thing that pissed me off, which was that Fisk could have just killed him right there, and instead just got like, I don't know, he had the gun pointed at him and he started taunting him, and then instead of shooting him, he just like, I don't know what he even did, but he just left himself vulnerable to die.
Open and then just got fucking bodied.
I hate when that happens in movies, but I do kind of also like the idea of like, oh, he just started taunting him.
Yeah, like I mean, and so like I mean, he was like part cyborg. He was probably like the part of him that was still a human that was coming out. You know what I mean? Like, like, oh yeah, like fuck you, like I'm better. And then all of a sudden,
it's real easy to hold in your emotions until someone actually starts fucking with you.
Exactly. And then the minute he let up, Stim was like, "Gotcha," just, and then it was over with. But yeah, anyway.
But it was just cool that there was something there that Stem couldn't do. Or he's like, I can't I can't really help you, man.
Yeah, he was like,
you gotta figure
he's
something
predicting
out.
all of my moves. He's like, I can just keep blocking, but like, you got to do this, bro. It's like all you.
Yeah, but it was really well like choreographed. I loved how they, it didn't look too unrealistic for like a scene where they were mostly just using their arms. So I don't know. I just liked it. It's a clip I'll sometimes just watch, like if on YouTube or something. It's just fun.
I did it.
It's a fun fight. All right, ready for our ratings?
Yeah.
Okay. So I liked this a lot. I'm just going to be honest. I liked this a lot more my first time watching than my second time for this pod. So despite the fact that I recommended it, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Because, I noticed some things I didn't like.
I did enjoy the movie. A lot of good action for me, which is always a plus.
Yep.
I just thought it was super predictable, which is like the only thing I did enjoy because like I kind of knew it was going to happen. So I'm giving this one a 3.5. Squadcast podcast thumbs up out of 5. So it'll just pretty much round out to be a 4.
Sorry, I was coughing, but I heard you. It's
okay.
I'm like trying to respond, and I'm just over here coughing up a storm like a dumbass. But all right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave it. That's it. It's at a 4.
Breathe,
all right,
brother.
I know. I'm good. I just had to drink some water. Okay, let's move on to Wall-E.
Yay, Wall-E.
Wall-E.
I love this movie. It's such a good movie.
Yeah, I don't think. Synopsis: mankind left Earth a few hundred years ago. There's a robot left to clean up the Earth. He meets Eve, who is back to check if there's life on Earth. And she finds the plant that he has to prove it. So they go back to the ship, and there's a struggle between the robots and the humans over whether or not they should go back or not. And with an emphasis on the humans obviously being in the right and the robots just not understanding that just because protocols stayed in place doesn't mean they can just stay with things, No, it's a good. Well, there's a lot of. It all makes sense. It all makes a lot of sense. It's a very creative story. This was around the time. This was around the same. No, this was 2008, I think. 2007, 2008. Yeah. And this is when Pixar was on their Hall of Fame run.
Yeah. Can we get old Pixar back? Sorry, that's off. Can I get their fucking Can I get a revival of the Hall of Fame run?
I agree, dude.
That shit was legendary. Every single movie that came out in that stretch of time was just banger.
Right. Yeah. No. Freaking. We already did Bug's Life on here, but like they went like 6 years in a row. They went. What'd they do? They went
nuts.
Finding Nemo. They went Finding Nemo, Incredibles. What'd they do before? They did something before Cars. Then they did Ratatouille.
Oh my god.
And they did Wall-E. After Wall-E, they did Up. And then after that, they did Toys. They ended the decade on Toy Story 3.
Dude, yeah, fucking they had
Hall of Fame generational run.
They got, let's see, what do we got here?
A couple more of those. A couple of those are going on the list, by the way.
Monsters Inc.
Yes, Monsters Inc. was in the middle of that too.
They did Coco, Up, Finding Dory, Finding Nemo, both Incredibles. I'd say
they had a short. I never saw Brave, but it didn't get great reviews. Not a lot of people loved Cars 2, although I thought it was fine.
I thought it was fine. And, I liked Cars 2.
And they kind of popped back up with Coco and
Coco was crazy.
What's the other one? What's the one about the emotions? God damn it!
Elemental.
No,
Inside Out.
Elemental sucks.
Yeah,
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Yeah, Elemental was terrible.
Yeah, sorry. I'm looking at the list and I saw they had like the same like looking characters. I was like, is that it? I was like, no, Inside Out. But yeah, no, they went crazy, bro, and then they just dropped the ball.
Yeah. Well, this is when they were on a really good run because they were, and this goes back to a point I've made a couple of times on here about how, like, people sometimes just go, hey, it's just a kid's movie, right? It doesn't need to be like complex, or it doesn't need to be like that intelligent. Not everything has to make sense and everything. That's fine. But the kids movies, and this includes the kids movies that get remembered, are the ones that, first of all, do make a lot of sense and are thought provoking and do have like, relatable and lovable characters and tell a complete story all the way through, a complete and very interesting original story all the way through, and also do things that like have plot elements that make you think, right? Like even if it's things that are too complicated for kids, they grow up and they learn these lessons. They they learn these lessons alongside what they learn in school. And Wall-E doesn't just teach some very basic things to kids about like environmentalism, but it also explores questions like that. Like even as an adult, I still think about like how comfortable is too comfortable of a lifestyle, Like, is there a world where we get so comfortable in the future that everybody's just in chairs all the time and just,
Bro, yeah, that shit
not
is
not really living life anymore?
They're literally just on a giant thing.
Like
it's like a giant space yacht.
Interesting take on it.
And everybody just lives on beds.
Yeah.
That robots take care of them, and they just like, and dude, it's like just. They have a million screens in their face at all times. They're just sucking down burgers and shakes and shit. Like nobody's doing anything. It's insane. And they're just, I mean, like, I'm sure at a certain point that it's just like complacency, and they're like, I mean, we're not dead, we don't have to work, and everything's being done for us. Sure, that sounds great and all, but like, damn, bro.
Yeah, it's also kind of its own version of sci-fi in a way. Well, I guess I can't say that. I mean, it does something different than like what things typically in sci-fi from like a dystopian perspective have typically done, whether it's dystopian or utopian. Like a lot of earlier science fiction was about utopian societies as a result of our progression in the future. And then like later stuff like Blade Runner and a couple other things are like the cyberpunk genre is more like, okay, what if we progressed technologically, but we still had problems like war and poverty and slavery and stuff around the world. And this movie kind of is like, it kind of splits in between those two things, because like this on this spaceship, it's utopian, but in a way it's the dystopian aspect is that it's somewhat of a facade, because it's clearly human beings are not at all what they once were. And then on top of that, when you go back and look at Earth, it's fucking desolate and filled with trash. It's it's brown, and there's all that's left is a robot cleaning it up.
Right.
Like, so it's a really cool way of like showing like kind of what happens when you like pull back the curtain on certain things that are like pitched as like a great big futuristic utopia. I don't know. And I guess in a little way it applies to like certain technological advancements in real life, like I don't know, AI, I guess. But I mean, this is a more cartoony way to do it with robots than Chat GPT. But
right,
nevertheless, how comfortable are we with just letting algorithms, AI or whatever, dictate our lives, I guess.
Right. No, I mean,
there's a lot of that.
It is a lot of that, and it's funny that like this movie came out in 2008, and as you've been touching on, like it's kind of crazy to think about like what AI is nowadays, and it's like if we let it get to a certain point, it could potentially be like. Thankfully, we're starting to see a slight collapse of the AI narrative here, with like it's not making people money, and it's actually pretty fucking stupid in the long run. But
there's so much resistance.
Yeah, there's so much resistance. So like that makes me happy, but like it's not too like far off to think about anymore. Like there could be a point in time where like that could be like the realistic outcome of humanity.
Like it wouldn't look exactly like that, obviously.
Right, it wouldn't look exactly like that, but like it's possible. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's, I don't know, it's crazy.
And then, well, yes, it has all of that, but like it's nice. I mean, it does a great job of just presenting it. It's not like hammering these ideas in your face. It's telling a story through that. And because of that, you're allowed to like still enjoy it as like a family or a kids movie. Like there's still a lot of fun, cutesy thing. I watched this with my girlfriend, and she loved everything that wasn't human. She loved Wally. She loved Eve. She loved Mo. She loved the little cockroach. I'm like, that's a cockroach, right? She's like, it's a cartoon cockroach, so it's cute. I was like, oh, that's kind of true.
All right, it's like, okay, I mean, that's kind of true.
It's way less gross when it's animated.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is 100% like. There's so many movies that are like you see, like Bugs Life, for example. I fucking do not like bugs in real life. I'm a big guy,
right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. And I do not like bugs in real life. Fuck a bug. Bugs Life.
Yeah,
I fucking love those bugs, bro.
I love those bugs.
Yeah, they're amazing. If bugs looked like that in real life, we'd all be homies.
and I remember thinking like when this came out, and I was only like fucking 11 years old. When it came out, and I was thinking to myself, how are they gonna do this movie with like a robot that doesn't talk? And it like for the first half of the movie, there is no real dialogue except for what you see from like ads that help explain the plot a little bit. But you still know very little up to that point, and the movie's patient with you in that regard. But it also has to accomplish the task of creating this character, and then this character dynamic when Eve shows up without much dialogue. They got to use a lot of body language and a lot of stuff that like fills in for dialogue.
Right.
Just like one word lines.
Right, one
Directive,
word lines, a lot of visual
classified.
representation. Classified. Like a lot of.
Like, that's
a lot
not
of
a funny scene, but I laugh at that. I don't know why.
I do laugh at that too. It's weird humor, but no, it's like they do a really good job of doing a lot of the way they animated it, the way they tell the story without telling a story.
Great animation
is really cool, and especially for 2008, I remember this movie being. I remember watching because like back then we had to go to the theaters if you wanted to see it new. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't just sit at home and watch it on Plex or something, but like I remember being in the theaters and it was just like this movie was so. It was just so beautiful, and obviously, Pixar from Golden Age run, but still, like, it still sticks to this day. Like,
sure.
It's still
it looks great. The part
movie.
where they're in space with him with the fire extinguisher, shit's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. I saw something in the production notes about how they, Finding Nemo was somewhat like an achievement because they created really good underwater physics. And now, like, they wanted to try the original idea for WALL-E. They hadn't come up with like the whole concept yet, but they knew that they wanted a lot of it to take place in space.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy that they first were like, okay, we just want a movie that takes place a lot in space, and that gets to this script. Like it goes from that to all the ideas that they poured into this. I don't know. It's really cool. I mean, maybe some of them had a couple concept scripts already that they pulled from or something about like dystopian realities and stuff, but they just wrote the perfect story for it.
Yeah, no, it was like
I don't know what the hell these guys are on, where they're just writing the perfect screenplays for these movies in the 2000s.
They just had it going on, bro. They had the juice.
They
had factory somewhere, and they were just fucking pumping them out.
They were on fucking fire.
They were literally on a generational run.
I also love the way Eve is introduced. She like. I don't know. I probably didn't notice this the first time I watched it. Whenever I did, but watching it again, knowing like kind of what's coming, like it first shows her look at the thing, look away, or she's like doing her job, and then she sees the ship look away, and she starts like flying around, going super fast and shit, like having a good time. And which is like it's good to introduce them that way, to just let you know like the robots in this story have emotions,
Right.
But it was just funny. She's doing that, and then Wally makes a sound, and she just like it almost like out of nowhere just turns around and blows up a rock,
right.
and it just causes like the biggest
laser beam
explosion ever. It's so That is so good. Like, oh, look at this beautiful little robot. Oh
I'm
shit!
like, oh my god, oh my god.
It's good. Wally's like shaking.
Right. He's like, like, oh my god, like I almost just died.
That's pretty funny. I like when he takes her into his home and he like keeps showing her stuff that like he gives her the Rubik's Cube. He comes back, it's solved. She gives her the light bulb. She turns it on just by touching it.
Right. He's just like, oh, wow.
She's like, wait, what? What the
Wow.
hell? Yeah, I know. He keeps coming back and seeing it like, what the hell? I didn't know it could do that.
Right, like, how did you do that? This is just my toy. I didn't know I could do all that with it. It's
just like a thing I found. What?
I just thought it was cool.
Oh, it was good. Then it finally, it was probably smart to start to get to humans about halfway through because I don't know, it would have been weird doing the way they were doing it. It was working very well. Maybe they could have done a movie with like little to no dialogue like that.
Right.
I'm almost surprised that they didn't try something like that after they were so successful doing half a movie like that.
Right.
Yeah, I said successful.
Oh my god.
But no, it was good. So they bring in the humans. They got I forgot the name of that guy who plays the captain, but he's good. He does a good job. He's in he's been in a lot of things. He's like the dad in the Goldbergs. Jeff Garlin.
Jeff Garlin, yeah, I was getting there.
Yeah, weirdly enough, for a little while, I thought it was Seth Rogen.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Just the way his voice cracks is the same way as Seth Rogen's.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't know that Sigourney Weaver was Axiom's computer.
Yeah, the Pixar loves you. She plays like a computer voice in Finding Dory too.
Does she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't considered a great Pixar movie, but I personally enjoy that movie.
Finding Dory. Come on, man. Finding Dory is
I know.
equally as wholesome as
I know. It's
Finding
just
Nemo.
not like it's not beloved. I wouldn't say it's as good as Finding Nemo.
It's not as good, but like it gave me the same feelings.
I still liked it.
I liked it.
But anyway, they used Sigourney Weaver's voice for that. I don't know. They just like using her voice for AI, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe she is AI. Who knows? Whoa, pause.
Yeah, maybe she. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. So, there's. Well, yeah. I guess I have a couple more things, but it progresses really well with how it kind of becomes like a good versus bad story with the wheel. But like it's cool how they make it make sense where like the wheel's not necessarily evil. He like thinks that he's following protocol like to a T. Right. When like there's a mistake that like a robot couldn't understand. Well, I guess you can't say couldn't understand because the good robots are on board with it, but still like and I guess there is somewhat of an evil side to it in that they try to secretly get rid of the boot with the plant. But I still think like they think that they're like doing the right thing. Like they're just, I don't know, they're treating it like it's not a sign that they could come to Earth because the protocol still says that they can't. Right. But yeah, I don't know. I guess if you wanted to really, really nitpick, you could ask why did if they didn't want to go back to Earth, why did that ship with Eve get sent back to Earth in the first place? But exactly. Like, I don't know. It could have been something. It could have been something that was like ongoing, like every I don't know, 10 years or something. We see that wasn't the first Wall-E. That there's like a bunch of Wall-Es before him. So I don't know. You can't really call it a plot hole. It's more like, hey, if they wanted to, they could have like cleared this up. They could have sealed this up. This one little piece of information that people are curious about.
Right.
Yeah, the ending was really well done. The, I wouldn't say there was anything like super like intelligent or like original. It was kind of just a back and forth of them fighting over the plant, and then the ship going back to. Although there was some funny moments, like my girlfriend and I were laughing a lot at all the fat people like getting thrown around the ship.
Oh my god,
They're
dude, they
all
were
on
just
their
getting
backs. No one can get up.
ragdolled.
They're like they're babies. They look like babies. They're all babies. It's pretty funny.
Literally just giant
Um,
human adult babies.
um, Wally gets fucked up by that thing that crushes him. I was like, I think when I first saw this, I was like, oh, he's fucked.
Oh, it's over with for you. There's no coming back from this.
Hey, we didn't mention Mo. Well, I remember seeing Mo the first time again when we watched this, and it's like, oh, does he actually have that big of a role? And yeah, he does. He saves Wally and Eve at one point, and I don't know, does he do something else? Well, I know he does that, and he's like kind of just with them at a certain point.
Yeah. Yeah,
And he's also just
he's just exactly, he's
hilarious.
just hilarious.
The part at the end with Wally and Eve, and he's all the robots are with him. He goes, go, 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 and pushes them away. That's so good, dude. You know, it's always funny when like a non-talking character does like a human thing. You know,
Absolutely.
I
Damn.
also just have to. What?
No. Go for it. Go for it.
No, I have to bring up as we're bringing this to a close here. I have to bring up how they used some song clips and like some clips from the movie Hello Dolly, which was like a musical I think in the 60s. And I really, first of all, the music they use is beautiful, and it's such a great choice for how to like close out the movie. And but it's just really like it's well done music, and I like that they chose it. Not only does it fit the ending of this movie very well, but it's kind of cool in its own right because Hello Dolly. Well, I'm not like some kind of huge Hello Dolly fan. It's it's some musical from the 60s at a time when musicals were the biggest box office draw.
Right.
And it wasn't even like that popular. It got a couple of Oscar nominations, but all the musicals did at that time. And but it was mostly kind of just ignored or forgotten about by except for people who like really love musicals. But because it's like somewhat not well known anymore, there was some, really well written music and songs and well sung songs in it that like a lot of people hadn't heard of before. And this movie, by choosing making those choices to include like those parts of those songs and giving it them almost, they basically gave them new life in a way, and like they gave them a new way to be appreciated by kind of using that like, because I think that song, that like love song that they sing in Hello Dolly that they use for the ending of Wally, in the original movie it's like just like a love song they sing it at like in like the middle of the movie.
Right.
And that's its purpose in that movie. But in this movie it's like a tie-in between Wally and Eve, and it's also gets played as they zoom out of Earth and close out the movie. And I just love that. It's like it's one of the things I appreciate about cinematic art, when you can take something like that happens a lot, and cinema is an art form where there's a lot of that, more than almost anything except maybe music, where you'll like take something you appreciated as you were becoming inspired as an artist and you apply it to what you create. And they do that in such a cool and beautiful way that I really appreciate in this movie. So yeah, I just wanted to give some credit for that, because you don't see that as much, you don't see that as much as I'd like to, I guess. Is really cool.
No, hell yeah. I respect that. I respect that, Dan.
Ready for our ratings?
I'm ready, brother.
No drama here. 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. No drama.
Yeah. This is a movie like I mean I'm gonna show this to my kids and my grandkids. It's from a generational run, and it in its own way it kind of stands out, but it's still they were there's nowhere else to put it. They were on a run there.
They were on a run.
And they were on a run there. I remember this movie actually didn't get a Best Picture nom, and people were so mad that was like around the time they expanded to 10 picture nominations, and then the next 2 movies, Up and Toy Story 3, did get those. So
bonkers.
But it did get a screenplay nomination. I didn't see what won, but I would have maybe considered this as a high contender.
I would agree.
All right. Well, that wraps up episode number 27, the sci-fi episode. The light and the dark of sci-fi.
It was a solid episode. That was fun. I have some ideas for the next episode, which I will discuss with you when we're done. But this one was a fun one. I did enjoy it. Are we thinking about switching the day for our weekly podcast or bi-weekly podcasts?
Well, potentially. Although our next episode is screw it. We'll say it now. Is the Dark Knight trilogy. Which hell yeah, but
hell yeah.
We might be having Alex come back for that one. May or may not. I don't say. We'll reach out to him, and he might. I don't know. The best day for him might still be Tuesday, but so we might do that episode on Tuesday. But I'm thinking after that, we should probably switch to Wednesdays.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree.
All right, because yeah, this seems to be the better day for us now. So
yeah, I would agree.
All right then.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, Latrell, for doing another episode with me.
It's always my pleasure.
And thank you all for listening. We will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.